Today's topic is about the WNBA and the labor dispute that's brewing between the players and owners. A potential labor standoff isn't just about paychecks. It's about power, control, and who really runs the show in women's professional basketball. Back in October, WNBA players opted out of their collective bargaining agreement. Since then, it's been quiet, until recently. Big names like Nafisa Collier, Angel Reese, Aja Wilson, Caitlin Clark, and countless others wore a t-shirt ahead of the WNBA All-Star Game asking the owners to pay them what they owe them. They've made it clear, if the league doesn't start paying players fairly, a strike might be coming. At first glance, it looks like your typical labor dispute, players versus team owners. But in the WNBA, things aren't that simple. Let's give some background first. The WNBA was created in 1996 by the NBA. Although some WNBA teams have their own owners today, those owners only control 42% of the league. The NBA itself owns another 42%, and the rest is held by outside investors. Since many of those investors and WNBA owners are also NBA team owners, NBA ownership effectively controls over 60% of the league. So when WNBA players protest their pay, they're not just talking to Kathy Engelbert or a handful of team execs, they're going up against the NBA's power structure. That power structure has made one thing painfully clear. The financial decisions in the WNBA are choices made by the NBA. Let's break it down with numbers. In 1971, Knicks star Walt Frazier made $300,000 a year. In 2024, the highest paid WNBA players earned $241,000, not adjusted for inflation. Frazier made more money in raw dollars 5 decades ago. But wait, it gets worse. Adjusting for inflation, and Frazier made nearly 10 times more than a WNBA player makes today. So this isn't just about time or inflation, it's about deliberate underpayment. And here's the kicker. League revenues back then and now, practically identical. In the 1970s, the NBA made the equivalent of $200 million in today's dollars, and in 2023, the WNBA also made around $200 million. Yet players in the WNBA are only seeing 10% of that revenue. NBA players back then, they were getting nearly half. So when Nafisa Collier says, we're not asking for the same salaries as the men, we're asking for the same revenue share. It's not just fair, it's logical. The plot thickens even further. The NBA just signed a massive $76 billion media deal. They say $2.2 billion of that goes to the WNBA. But here's the problem. That number wasn't set by the open market. It was set by the NBA. Even women's basketball legend Cheryl Miller called it a lowball. And some analysts think the true media rights value of the WNBA could be as high as $10 billion. If that's true, then $500 million, money generated by WNBA games, fans, and stars, might actually be subsidizing the NBA. That's not just unfair, it's exploitation. And just like clockwork, the NBA and critics of the WNBA are already rolling out the familiar narrative of the WNBA isn't profitable. They've used this line before, during the 1970s ABA merger, during the 1983 salary cap push, and again in the 2011 lockout. Now they're claiming the WNBA lost $40 million last season, 4 times what they claimed in the past, with no financial evidence to back it up. Meanwhile, the WNBA just posted record-breaking attendance, TV ratings, merch sales, and social media engagement thanks to an emerging class of stars like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, and countless others. So where are these losses really coming from? It's time for us to be honest with ourselves. This isn't about market realities. It's about the NBA making deliberate choices that suppress WNBA pay, minimize their share of revenue, and funnel value back into the NBA's bottom line. But this time, the WNBA players have something their male counterparts didn't have during earlier disputes: social media. They have a direct line to fans, a way to tell their side of the story uncensored. Their message has been loud and clear. This system is rigged and we won't be silent anymore. Will this fight end in victory? Maybe not right away. But one thing's certain, if you're a fan of the WNBA, you know which side deserves your support. This is about supporting professional athletes that have a limited time window to maximize their earnings, where they know that the wrong step on a court, whether it's during a game, a practice, a playoff game, or anything else, could end their careers in a split second. They deserve to be paid fairly. No one is asking for Caitlin Clark or Aja Wilson to be paid like LeBron James, but they deserve the same amount of revenue share as their male counterparts in the NBA. At the end of the day, this isn't just a labor dispute. It's a challenge to decades of choices made by the NBA, and now the players are making choices of their own. This labor dispute has become a hot-button topic in the sports world, where it has begun to reveal the layers of misogyny, sexism, and sometimes racism that has affected the WNBA since its inception. These women are elite athletes that operate in the top 0.01% of their sport, and they deserve to be compensated like. When it comes down to who we should support, it's very clear to us at 4040 Vision Media that the athletes and the players deserve every penny that's been missing from their side of the table. This has been 4040 Vision Sports, where every jersey, trade, and draft pick tells a story.